Life in the monastery. Of course, I'll be referencing this monastery because all monasteries have at least slight differences to their routine, if not really very significant differences. But there's an orderliness to the routines. There are routines, and so that brings orderliness. That brings touch points in the day where we know what's expected, what needs to happen, what we're going to be doing, and this has a great beneficial aspect to our life in this type of community. It greatly simplifies things. Can you imagine 20, 25 people kind of just doing their own thing? And that's a possibility, but in terms of what we're trying to do, in terms of realizing Dhamma, practicing Dhamma and having our focus be on that, this can bring this simplification, which then can help help settle the mind, keep the mind more clear than if we're having to make decisions all the time about what to do and how to link up with other people. So now this is our post-breakfast meeting, and pretty soon it's the what's referred to as the work period. And so earlier this morning, meditation. So the day is divided up into, we can label it in ways. It's divided up, sort of more formal meditation, Dhamma practice, more practical things to do. This is all obvious stuff. I'm obviously not saying anything that's new information. But it's the way I approached it is, how are we dividing it up in a spiritual community? Are we holding on to or overly emphasizing the difference, for instance, between meditation, Dhamma practice, and practical work? Are we, because I found in my own life of entering the monastery and also before living in the monastery, living as a layperson, practicing Dhamma, I was holding too tightly to those divisions. Well, this is work. I need to get, when I'm done with my work, then we can practice. And this is also, this reflection that I'm offering now is a reflection that probably most of us have heard over and over again. But I think it's worthy to keep reminding ourselves that, to say that the morning meditation from 5 until 6:30 in the morning is the same as a work period, that would be kind of ridiculous to say that they're the same. Because they are different. It's obvious, and the differences are obvious. But in terms of Dhamma practice, do they need to be so different? One involves stillness, simplicity, either sort of sitting meditation, chanting. Maybe we're doing walking meditation. Another involves maybe quite complex practical task that we might have here in the monastery. Maybe a lot of figuring out or moving things that are very heavy. So they're different, but in terms of consciousness, witnessing change. So yesterday's reflection, Ajahn Kunadamo, he used the word, that witness, to be the witness. And so if we are looking at it as consciousness, just witnessing changing conditions. Last night, in one of the chants that we did during evening puja, it says, composed of elements according to causes and conditions. And so that was referring to a specific thing, but it can be applied. So there's different causes and conditions, so that they keep changes. There's a reason why things happen. They don't just boom, appear out of nowhere. And so this changing causes and conditions. The conditions for our next 2 or 3 hours have changed. It's different than early morning or yesterday afternoon or evening. So if we can use that witness position, be able to, that awareness. And so whatever's happening in awareness, whatever comes through the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or the intellect, the mind, is it with a witness. And so that practice is 24/7. So therefore, yes, work period is different than morning meditation. Work period is different than eating the meal. But in terms of that overarching awareness, receiving all the sense-based information, and then noticing, how is this affecting? What is this doing to my mind and heart? And just giving that space, that also arises in awareness. If we really, oh great, this is my favorite work task. Great, we are the witness to that. We feel it, sweet. If it's maybe something, we got the task that we least like to do, and okay, we feel that, but awareness has no boundary. It can just receive that, we can feel that, but we don't need to make a big deal out of it. We don't need to divide things up and say, well, I can't wait to get this over because then I can get back to my kuti and be peaceful. Better to just be peaceful with what's there, to be the witness that's peaceful, calm, it receives, so that we're letting go right there. We don't need to go and practice at our kuti to let go of that particular thing. But let's go back to our kutis and practice. And so offer that for reflection this morning.